Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We're going to talk about Murder on the Orient Express. Now, I always mention this before anyway. I've mentioned this a lot of times before, but I'm going to mention it again now. These Let's Talk About do contain spoilers, and this is going to contain a big spoiler. So if you've not seen this film, turn the video off now. There. I was gonna say something and realised it's pointless because I've just told you to turn the video off. So, anyway, this film is full of stars, and it's brilliant for the fact of it. Right? I was expecting like a star-studded cast that wasn't, but the film wasn't going to be that great. It was just sort of going to run on its star power. But it's absolutely brilliant, and it's really weird to watch Gilderoy Lockhart play different roles. So he was in Dunkirk this year. He directed this. He plays Poirot in this. And he's brilliant in this. It's a really good portrayal of that character. I was quite surprised by that, I suppose. All the acting in this was brilliant across the board. There was not a weak link to me. Sometimes when you get like such a star-studded cast, there's like one or two people that stand out as being a weak link. But this was brilliant. Even Olaf was brilliant in this, which I was sort of surprised about in a way. I've never seen him like act not in a Disney film, so I was surprised to see that he can actually hold a serious role as well. Now onto the spoiler thing, because this is quite a short one because there's not much I can really say about this. Again, I don't really want to get into it too much, but I do want to get into the ending of this film. Like the whole thing is shot absolutely beautifully. I will mention that before I get to the proper ending of this. Like it's shot beautifully. It's acted so well, and I went to see it with Mike, and I know my mum wants to go see it. So when I sat down in the cinema, I was like, okay, feel like I'm gonna have to go and watch this again. I can't wait to actually watch this to find out who the killer is, so I can rewatch this film with that in mind. Sit down and watch it and try and see if it's clear in the film, or if it's obvious, or if there's things I can notice the second time I watch it that point to that person being the killer. Now, we get to the end and we find out everyone is the killer. They've all done it. They've all had a reason behind it. They've all got a good reason for it. And then sort of Poirot basically lets them all off and goes, "I'm not going to do anything. Like, you've all made this decision. It's a fair decision, so I'm not gonna act on that." And I don't know if it's because I was already planning to go and see it again, and I was in my head going, I can't wait to find out who that single killer is to see if I can figure this out. But and I checked back, and the book ends the same way. But it was sort of a cop-out ending for me, and for the people I went to see it with. We all sort of went, I didn't really like this ending. To know it's the actual ending is good. I'm glad they didn't change the ending of the book to make it like this for the film. But I just didn't like it, and I don't know what would have fixed it, to be honest. Now I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't want you to change the book ending. The book ended like it. It's a classic tale. Like, a lot of people know this. There's a lot of adaptations of this story. So if they changed the ending, that would have been a really controversial big thing that would have been talked about a lot more than the actual film itself. We just didn't enjoy the ending. We just expected more from the ending, I suppose, and it wasn't what we expected. But apart from the ending, it was an absolutely brilliant film. I loved it. They hinted at a sequel about the Bloody Nile, I think it was. I don't know Agatha Christie at all, or Poirot. This was like my first introduction to any of that. And I'd happily see a sequel. I'm actually quite interested to see if they actually do a sequel, because I think that would be quite good with a new cast of characters. If they can get a cast as strong as this for a sequel, I think it'd be quite interesting, actually. And then I watched a review about this film and realised they mentioned that Kenneth Branagh directs and stars, like headline stars, in all of these films. And he usually does a really good job in them, and this is not an exception at all. He was brilliant in this. He really portrayed the role really, really well. So I'd be curious to see what he can do with the role in future films as well. These are all quite short. If you've not watched all of these reviews in a row, I'm not blaming you for that. These are all quite short reviews recently. I don't know what to say, basically, in these reviews, apart from I enjoyed the film. Just because I suppose I didn't get as invested into these films as I do with other ones. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I'd recommend watching it, definitely. I'm probably still going to see it a second time. It's just going to take something away from me to not sit down and watch it and go, I can't wait to find out who the murderer is again. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the film. If you enjoyed it, I don't blame you, because it was actually a really good film. I was sort of taken aback by that. It was just a shame about the ending. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one.